Hey, what's going on? Welcome to, I think we're going to call it the Doug Show today. And I have a lovely guest in studio today. It's Matt Giovanisi. How's it going today?
Happy Valentine's Day
Happy Valentine's Day.
for your lovely guest.
And we planned it. We have a good, kind of a special dinner coming up later for the two of us.
Yep.
But today we're going to talk about a very clickbait headline. I can't believe I did that, but is this the end of SEO? And I literally titled this, is this the end of SEO? And we're talking ChatGPT, Bing, Google, and we're going to see how it goes. Now, I want to make sure everyone could hear me in the chat. I could hear myself, which is a good thing, but let me know in the chat. I just want to double check. And we're going to answer some questions at some point later on. But really, it's going to be a discussion with Matt and I. And we're going to talk about how ChatGPT and Bing are now being integrated. Microsoft is challenging Google, which is kind of amazing because it seemed like Google with a 90% market share was just going to, dominate forever. But disruptive things happen all the time. We'll talk how it impacts SEO, and we'll dig into the details of copyrights and if taking people's content and shuffling it around and then regurgitating it is an okay thing to do. I mean, we're going to have to, I don't know how the lawyers are going to figure it out, but Matt, we're going to talk to you a lot. You're going to talk a lot, but I want to give a proper intro for you. So Matt Giovanisi, that's how you say your last name, right?
Correct.
You're a marketing expert, and you're the founder and owner of Swim University. Swim University gets its traffic from Google, YouTube, and makes most of its money from affiliate marketing, online courses, and physical products. It's the major revenue source in your media business because you really have, it's a media company at this point, right? Revenue in 2021, is it okay if I say revenue numbers?
Yeah.
$549K, 549,000, and that was 27% year-over-year growth, of course, compared to 2020. And then in 2022, it grew even more to 49% over 2021. So the math people can, figure that math out.
Yeah.
Okay. And the point here is, you know your shit. You've been in the industry for how many years?
Since 2006. So whatever that is, math people, I don't know what that is. Is that 20? Is that 20?
It's close to 20 minus 3, so 17.
Yeah, 17 years.
Yeah, so pretty amazing. And that's when you started Swim University?
That's when I technically started Swim University. I technically started Swim University in 2004, if you count just buying a domain name as the start of something. No, so I bought it in 2004, let it lapse, didn't really actually build anything until 2006. So that's why I say 2006, because it's more accurate.
Okay. And just a little background. You and I are friends. You live just a couple miles away, which is a random coincidence.
Yep.
And it's been cool to get to know you because you moved here, like 2 years ago, pandemic time frame?
Yeah, September 2020.
Okay.
Yeah.
And usually we don't talk about this stuff because we have a lot of overlapping interests. You're into beer and drinking, which I love too.
Yep.
And barbecue more recently.
Yep.
And I think there's probably like 3 other things.
Probably snowboarding?
No. I stay away from the winter sports
That's
stuff.
smart.
But beer takes up a ton of time, and we've had many a pints in your home brewery area. And I'm glad you're a neighbor.
Yeah. It's a good time.
So today we are going to dig into some controversial topics here. And, we talk about the end of SEO, which is kind of a bullshit headline. However, it's almost legit. I can almost stand behind it because we're talking about the intersection of AI, chatbots, and search engines. And we're witnessing something now that is a little bit different than what we've seen before. It's not just a fucking algorithm update.
Right.
It's a little bit different. And Microsoft forced Google's hand at adding AI to search results. And I think Google's search results have kind of declined in the last couple of years, at least my satisfaction with them. Being on the other side as a site owner and seeing a drop and then a recovery and then a drop with no real action indicates incompetence. What are your thoughts on that one?
I've certainly seen a drop in traffic. I have not seen a drop in position. So for us, it's been it's hard because we're one, we're a seasonal business with Swim University, and two, the pool and hot tub industry during the pandemic exploded. So like we were one of those rare industries. Same with home brewing, actually, too. And online business, anything that was like a lot of my, you can tell I'm a homebody because all my businesses are all home based. But yeah, Swim University specifically like had explosive growth traffic wise in 2020, and then 2021. So we constantly compare traffic to the year before. So we don't do it month over month because of our seasonality. So compared to 2019, explosive growth. And then 2021, lower. And then 2022, lower. And in 2023, we're seeing an uptick now. But now we're comparing it to 2022. So it's like, it's hard to – but when I look at Ahrefs and my rank tracker, I don't see any decline. I just see organic traffic dip, which could just be a sign of – less people are searching for it because more people are revenge traveling, going on vacation, and not, taking care of their pools the way they did that's the only thing they could do. But I just, I don't know about, a decline. Like, yeah, what are you seeing what do you mean by like a decline in is it in the
quality? So the quality of the results. And, we're looking, you were talking about, what it's your own site. It's an N of 1, but like across the board, newer sites that are not, 15 years old,
yeah.
Like that's an anomaly. There's not,
right.
Through attrition, there's not as many of those, but like, let's say a 4-year-old site and you see like a big drop in traffic seemingly for no reason. And it's been like high quality, like they review the products, like there's kind of weird stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it makes you wonder, like, what are the engineers doing at Google?
Well, this is what there was a whole bunch of algorithms that came, like updates that came out in 2022, right? And one of the big ones that I think everyone in our industry got really freaked out by was the product review one, right? And I've never, since 2008, I don't care about algorithm updates. I don't look at them. I don't fear them because I'm like, well, I did what Google wanted us to do in 2008. And I'm glad that because I did the black hat stuff for the first, from 2006, 2008, even to 2010, where I was, I think we talked about this before and I've been tweeting this stuff, going like how to do SEO in 2008. And so I would write like all the things that I used to do back then, which was like one of the ones I just wrote was, spin a bunch of articles, like take one article, spin it 20, 30 times, and then submit those to Ezine articles and just get backlinks from that. Yeah. And I tracked all of those in a spreadsheet. So like I had a spreadsheet once that was like, I had 300 submissions and it was all like, backlinks from backlinks from Ezine articles.
Right.
Wait, what was the question? I don't know why I just went on that tangent.
Who knows?
Coffee's not
I don't remember.
In.
Yeah.
But yeah, like it was, so when the product review update kicked in, I was like, oh man, this is going to kill a lot of like affiliate sites that don't actually review things, right? Look, it's tough because people don't want to do that work. I understand that. It's like, especially if you're in a niche that you're not interested in and you don't have the capital to buy these things and the time to invest to actually review something the way that, say, Wirecutter does, or at least they claim they do, right? And take your own pictures because whatever. But that's kind of what it needs now because, again, and this is a phrase that I say a lot in this industry is like, any asshole can do that, right? Any asshole can go on Amazon and, look at actual written product reviews and come up with type a bunch of those into AI and spit out, a review post. So like, what are you actually doing? You're doing the same thing I did back in 2008, which is spinning content.
Right.
So Google's definitely going to hate that, right? And now with AI, it's like, oh, they're up for, it's going to be a big challenge, right? So, yeah, I'm not surprised by it, but I'm also not afraid of it. And I'm just like, oh, well, what's our, and they added we could talk about that too, which is like they added the extra E to eat, right? And I'm just like, yeah, duh. Like
except all the fucking ads they want us to put on the
well,
side.
that's the one thing like you can still do. Yeah.
They're like, that's cool. Not above the fold too much, but we have to get paid.
Right.
So it's a whole other topic. So we'll move on because we want to focus on AI and search engines. But the one, since it's my show, I'm going to challenge you and then I won't let you respond.
Okay.
So I hear what you're saying. However, people that are doing all the stuff that Google tells us to do are still having issues. So it's like someone I know personally, like reviews the product, like has original pictures, all the stuff you're talking about, 4 years old, social media presence, social media traffic, email lists, other stuff.
The whole thing.
Recently had, and this was an unsubstantiated update, like February 4th, but I know at least like 3 or 4 people that lost like 30 to 50% of their traffic. And, they were some of the highest quality like content. And I know the people in the sites were older. So that's where I'm like, there's.
Was it niche based? Like, was it like, you know what I mean? Like compared to mine, was it something that like, was it like cryptocurrency or something a little bit on the more?
One of them, I don't know. One of them was a little more competitive, but should not have seen such volatility.
Yeah.
One was extremely niche, very small community, not a huge number of searches, but significant traffic, probably 125, 150K page views a month. So not huge numbers, but like huge, one of the biggest in its industry. Anyway, so.
Yeah, good people do get sort of caught up in the wake, unfortunately.
Yeah. And you're not scared.
No, never.
What would you? Okay, so we'll save it till the end.
Yeah.
But
it's all about the future proofing stuff.
Yep. Yeah. Exactly. Okay, so ChatGPT in Bing. So it hasn't completely rolled out. I think people are on the wait list. I think some people have access. OpenAI just added ChatGPT Plus. It's $20 a month, which I'm going to cancel my Jasper subscription immediately.
Really?
Because it's like
it is so much cheaper.
Why are they so much cheaper?
No, it is so much cheaper.
Oh yeah. It's ridiculous. And you may, there's some functionality in Jasper that makes it maybe a little more handholdy, but I think the power is.
Well, they're putting. I heard Jasper's putting chat into their platform, and then they do have. I do like the prompts because I think of all because I use ChatGPT. I played around with it.
Sure.
I'm bad at prompts. I don't know how to talk to robots, if I'm being honest. Like I and it's the things that I have used it for are really cool, and I will discuss those. But I can do those same things in Jasper. But you're right, Jasper is like $50 or something.
I'm paying $60. I guess it depends on when you hopped in and whatever.
Yeah, I was really early.
So yeah, I'm paying $60 a month, and the functionality. I mean, even if they add the additional
chat
functionality,
because it's built on OpenAI, right?
It is currently. I think the GPT-4. I may mess up some of the function or the terms, but like ChatGPT, I think it's 3.5.
Yeah,
but it's like fine-tuned very specifically, and I think they manually did that. I think I heard Lex Freeman talk about that.
I heard the same thing. Okay. Yeah.
So it's fine-tuned better. So when you use the beta Jasper chat, it's essentially the same as the chat preset in the OpenAI playground. So I played with them side by side,
doing the
same quality, except it cost 15 times more.
Yeah.
So I don't see the value in, the sexy front end. It's VC backed. They have to make money. They have to charge more.
Right.
There's some presets, but you could start with a preset, put your own custom code in there, and then you have it right there.
Yeah, there's a whole GitHub repository where it's just a bunch of prompts that you can kind of copy and paste and enter into ChatGPT. So you can find those are free. So it's I guess. So I have an account with ChatGPT. Does that mean I have the free version now. Do I have to pay $20 to use it?
I don't think so. I think
Like, am I early enough adopter to where I never have to pay $20?
I think they're just going to leave it available. So there still will be like bandwidth and capacity issues.
Yes.
But per my understanding, they're always going to have a free level.
Huh.
And that's amazing. And it's
Yeah.
probably,
What are you getting for the paid level?
I think you get features sooner.
Oh.
If it's at capacity, you have like priority.
Okay.
So it's like a little higher level,
Okay.
and it is a faster. They don't throttle it as much.
Oh, okay.
So
Okay.
in $20 a month, I mean,
Yeah, it's pretty cheap.
Yeah,
And it writes, right.
it's pretty good.
I might, okay.
Yeah, let's do this. And the thing is, there's going to be people out there. Jasper's probably going to kick me out of their affiliate program in a second. But
I mean, I'm in their affiliate program too.
I am
so,
too. Yeah. The thing is, like, there will be other marketers who say, "Oh yeah, Jasper's still great. Like I still use it because of blah blah blah."
Yeah.
But come on, you're getting paid by them. Of course you're gonna. I mean, you have the incentive to make it sound good, even if it's not the best product out there, the best value.
I mean, I don't do it for that reason, but I hear that reason. Yes.
Yeah.
And
so everybody look out for that. The people that like they don't change their mind when they get new information. Like look out for those people, and they're just stubborn.
Yeah, like the people who are pitching Bluehost. Ooh, be careful.
Man. This episode is sponsored by Bluehost. It's not. Oh, sorry about that. Okay. So let's talk real quick. We're going to talk about how the SERPs are going to change, but I want to fold in something. I guess you made a prediction, a Nostradamus type prediction.
Yeah.
So what was your tweet a couple weeks ago?
I said, crazy prediction, Google will just become ChatGPT, essentially, and I said that because I feel, and I've read other people challenging me on this, which, again, I understand, but I'm like, you can type in a query or prompt or whatever you want to call it, and it will give you the answer. And then it can also serve ads around those answers. And to the user, it's servicing exactly what Google wants to happen, which is a person types in a query and Google serves up the most relevant information as fast as humanly possible. Like that's the whole goal of it. And then also ads, right? Because they have to make money. And I was like, well, okay, as a user of Google, wouldn't it be better if I didn't have to like filter through the results the way that I do now and do like the whole pogo sticking thing where I'm like, okay, it's served up, 2 or 3 ads and then I know to skip those because I'm in the industry. Okay, here's the top post. I click that. I go to that post. I have to read through it to find my answer. Didn't find my answer. Hit the back button, blah, blah, blah. It's like, it's so time consuming, right? So I'm thinking if when you think about products in general, right? If you can, if you have a, person's got a desire, right? They have an outcome that they want, right? And this is, I don't know if this is going to work, this analogy, but it's like, oh, and you sell this product and this product basically gets them from point A to point B in as fast as humanly possible, right? So like, I've heard people talk about weight loss is an interesting example of, if you could take a pill and lose 50 pounds, it's like the greatest drug ever, right? Mm-hmm. It's perfect. It's not going to happen, but it's like that speed is, you have like no competition essentially. I feel like, why wouldn't Google want that from a user's perspective? They are already doing it, mind you, right? By stealing our content and sticking it up as featured snippets, which for some reason as SEOs we're all trying to like actually get, right. It's like, because it technically is the top result, but I'm like, you're just giving, they're not like, I'm sure that people are like less people, and I don't know the numbers here. I'm sure maybe you do or somebody else does in the chat of like, what is the percentage now that they're giving away like a chunk of information and then your result, right? Mm-hmm. So if they got rid of the chunk, how many, let's say that's 100% clicks or 60% clicks if you're number one versus adding the chunk, does that cut it in half? Is it now only 30% because people are getting their answer in the chunk? I don't know.
Yeah. It's it's sucky, and the snippets super interesting because I know there were some updates where I guess Google what was it? They were like banning certain sites for snippets, or they got kicked out
Oh
of
no, I
snippets
didn't know
or something.
about that. No. What were they doing? Like
I
hacking
think
the snippets or something?
no, I think I don't know exactly what was going on, but
Okay.
like some sites they had a ton of snippets, and then all of a sudden it dropped off, and then their traffic dropped dramatically. So
Oh.
this was like a year ago, I
Okay.
think. And
They over optimize for snippets.
perhaps,
Yeah.
I don't know. And I went so let's fast forward a little
Yeah.
bit here, and because I'm thinking, all right, let's say Bing, Google, they start essentially like taking our information, and then we're not getting. We'll just use Google as an example. We're not getting as much traffic from Google, but they're taking our
Yeah.
information.
They already do that.
And now I'm like, oh, can we just now we could say like don't index us, like we'll block the Google robot, and we're like, fuck you, you can't use our data. If you're not going to giving us traffic anymore, then we're out. I don't know how it would play out. You have to get traffic from somewhere, but if you're not getting from Google anyway, and they're taking your information, and this gets into the intellectual property stuff.
That that bothers me a little bit. Just as a creator, it bothers me.
Right.
But especially in the art space, like especially like the Dolly stuff. Like I'm like, oh man, that really sucks, because like you could see people's signatures in some of the artwork, and it's like, all right, like who gave them permission to do that? Yeah. One of the one of the things that when I said that prediction, obviously a lot of people got upset. Like they were just defending like Google's never going to let that happen. They're never going to kill their, like 70% of their business comes from, like, they're not going to kill that. I'm like, but they're not killing it. You know what I mean? They're still going to be able to run ads, and you're still going to click those ads, but you're just going to get your answer faster, right? The problem though is right now the way it works, because again, just think featured snippets versus what ChatGPT spits out. It's basically spitting out featured snippets, right? It's taking our content, maybe changing a few words, like maybe not. We don't even know, right? So what if, in this case, it's like the data set that's, I think Microsoft is the one that's supplying all the servers. ChatGPT or OpenAI is what's running these, algorithms or whatever. They took, what is it, the entire internet, or this entire data set of the internet up until 2021. So it took all of our shit anyway, right? Put it in this big server farm, and now we're, using it as a tool, and it's regurgitating our own garbage back at us, right? Just rewritten with a bot of some kind. And so even though everyone was like bent out of shape about that prediction, which I'm like, look, I don't want it to happen. Like I make majority of my money from Google. Like I've invested a lot of effort into ranking. But honestly, I'm hearing about friends, and I'm like, I don't want to, not friends, but like people I know. I should say friends, but like I've heard people, and maybe just on the internet too. I've heard people like typing in their symptoms, like physical symptoms, into ChatGPT, and it's spitting out a diagnosis. And I'm like, okay, one, fucking don't do that. Two, how is that different from WebMD? Like, like I have a mole growing on my lower back. Fucking cancer. It's always cancer, right? So like, so isn't ChatGPT and whatever comes after it the safe bet in my head, right, is it's just regurgitating our own mediocre shit back at us. And the data set, if you were to think of the internet as this giant data set, wouldn't you make the argument, or couldn't you make the argument, that maybe 95% of it, maybe 90, I'll be a little bit more liberal with it, 90% of it is like awful, garbage, shit, terrible, right? It's like, how many of us are like, again, I've spun so much content in my life on the internet, and then, written good stuff, but also it's like, a lot of people just write a lot of mediocre stuff.
Sure.
So isn't that just taking that mediocrity and just respinning it back at us, and then we're just reposting it? And isn't it just going to create this like wave of shit that is basically going to level the playing field again, and then human beings or good writing will just work its way up again, assuming we still have SERPs.
Right. So I have a couple thoughts there.
Okay.
One, I actually put my symptoms into the search bar here, and it says I have network connectivity issues. You know what that's from,
Andy
right?
Dwyer, yeah.
I knew you'd know.
Yeah.
So
Ad-libbed on the day, apparently. Yeah.
deep cut.
Yeah.
So there's like 3 people that got that maybe, but I
Nice.
love it. So the other thing, one, somebody fact check us, so I don't think it took the whole internet.
No,
I think it was like
there's no way.
15% or
Yeah,
like some
yeah.
small segment.
But up until 2021.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there was like a cutoff point, but it was not everything, thank goodness. But you're right. It's kind of like, they have the man on the street interviews and they're like, who was the first president?
Yeah.
And they're like, Bill Clinton.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's
Obviously
some
cherry
nonsense.
picked information, right? Which is this too, right? So it's like, it's that's my hope, at least. Like, my hope is that you just made something dumb but impressively dumb. Right? It's like really, it's like, how
Wow.
like, you go to a party and talk to somebody and they're like, wow, you sound smart, but I think what you're saying is really stupid.
Yeah.
But man, you have good vocabulary. You can string the, you have the gift of gab. You can string words together. But so like I think it's one of those people right now.
Okay.
Maybe the fact, because I'll tell you what, it gets shit wrong in the pool industry, so I
Right.
can't use it.
Right.
You know what I mean? At least for technical article writing.
Right. And that's one thing we're going to get to. We have a couple other points we're going to hit around, us actually using AI in general. I do want to give a shout out to one of the sponsors today. That's Odys Global. This is a real sponsor, and they have premium age domains with strong branding and powerful backlinks. I'm going to roll an ad from them in a few minutes to let Matt and I just kind of relax our voices in a minute. Before we get to that, so SERPs are going to change. We're not sure exactly how. I think that's going to be exciting in the next year. But is there anything that you think people are missing from this situation, whether it's like specifically in the SERPs or search engine or chat or whatever? But what do you hear out there that you think people are missing?
You mean missing from like a understanding perspective, or like?
Yeah, maybe understanding, or they're like, no big deal. Because I mean, for probably 2 years, I was like, this AI stuff, it's interesting. It's not there yet. And I'll change my mind as soon as it is. And then the last 6 months, I mean, actually, like we were having beers at your house and I was like, I don't really give a shit too much.
Yeah.
And then
Now.
2 weeks later, I was like, I get it now.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we're going to talk about in a few minutes.
I the thing that kind of bothers me about it is I don't like being the guy who's out there being like, this is a friggin' watershed moment. This is a warning signal to all the niche site owners out there. It's time to like start expanding your business and start to thinking about your business outside of just ranking on Google, right? But I've been screaming that for since like 2010, so like but then that's the thing is like everybody who got mad at me, or like didn't get mad at me, but they were like, everyone who challenged me on my prediction, which was just a prediction that I don't want to happen, by the way. But everyone who challenged me, I go, you're not keeping your mind is shut off. You do not have an open mind, and therefore your business is going to suffer for it. That's what I think people are missing, is just chill, like relax your brain and just say, maybe this is a big deal. Maybe, right? At least accept that as a possible reality. And then challenge yourself to be like, what would I do if that were the case? Because the thing that I constantly do in all of my businesses and every single platform I'm on is, what if this disappears tomorrow? What's my game plan when it does? And I've operated I wrote another tweet too that people didn't like, which was like, run your business like it's going to be gone in 60 seconds, or like run your business like every minute it could go away. Mm-hmm. So it's like, what kind of decisions are you going to make if you're like, I only have, today to make the most money possible? What are you going to do? You're not going to try to rank on Google. It takes 3 to 6 months still. So it's like, start to think about and challenge yourself to think about what would happen if it disappeared or the SERPs disappeared, because and then the other thing I think people are missing is ChatGPT 4. It's like, yes, right now ChatGPT 3.5 is like kind of dumb, right? It's that dumb guy at a party that's not really that smart, but is eloquent enough and can make, he's kind of a scam artist, right? Mm-hmm. what if he gets better? Which is like how software and technology works, and it doesn't get like it gets like compoundingly better, not like just like, oh, okay, he did a little bit more. It's like, no, it's gonna go from 0 to 60 in like 6 to 8 months. Like that's just how technology works. Look how far we've come already. So like that's the shit that worries me in a good way. And I like the challenge of thinking that way. And that's what I think maybe people are missing is like use this as an opportunity to expand outside of just running your business with like, I hope I can rank on Google so that people will click my affiliate links /ads.
And yeah, excellent points. I think I'll mention how industries shift. It's taken me a second to pull together the analogy. So before the internet, there were similar business models like referral marketing and different types of marketing, direct mailers and stuff like that. And there were newsletters. Like I'm old enough where I like signed up for some newsletter that I would get every 6 weeks for some weird obscure thing, and I was like excited. It was like 4 pages or something on that gray paper. Did you ever get any of those?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm trying to remember what though.
I don't know. I was like a weird
back of a magazine. Fill out the
So that kind of stuff, and then it shifted to the internet, and then it's grown into a mature
industry. And then it was free.
Yeah,
right.
And it was things just shift. So like there's still going to be different markets that need to have sales and services and blah blah blah. Yeah, like it'll be okay. It'll just a lot of this just grows opportunities.
I 100% agree with you. Yes.
Yeah. Yes. So because I wasn't very excited to start using some of the AI tools, but like I said, once I figured it out, now I'm like, oh, I have like 30 video ideas for YouTube that I didn't have before. That, previously I had a list and I was like, these are boring. I've already done these kind of topics, but now I'm like, I haven't seen anyone do these videos that I'm thinking of.
You have a second brain.
Yeah. It's very cool. So let's roll the ad. We'll be back in about 4 minutes here. Let me make sure I can do this. And Matt and I are going to rest our little voices here for a second. And this is from Odys Global. Here's a quick word from our sponsor, Odys Global, the source for premium age domains with great branding and strong backlinks. Today, I want to point out there is a sale. There's a clearance sale, 40% off selected domains for the month of February. So definitely check those out. There's 232 on the list here. And today we're going to look at one of those. It's called appetites.us. It is 8 years old and has, it says here 147 referring backlinks, but we're actually going to take a closer look at Ahrefs. Before we do that, this was a site that was related to food all around the New Orleans area. So someone that was pretty into food. Now, we'll take a quick look over at the Wayback Machine. Thing is, I mentioned it was like 8 years old or something like that, but there are references all the way back to 2003. So I'm not sure like the data, because when I went back to look, it looks like maybe 2015 is when there was some records. But the thing is, we actually see appetites.us all the way back in the early days of blogging. And this blows me away. Like I said, it's about food and eating. There's restaurant reviews, recipes, other things related to food out of the New Orleans area. The reason why I'm amazed, this recipe, I arbitrarily selected this. This is pork adobo, which I believe is a Filipino dish. And I'm Filipino. I actually made pork adobo just the other day, which is pretty amazing. I didn't read all the recipe here, but it looks legit. Let's look there. Vinegar. There's some dried chili flake. It looks like they need soy sauce. All right, so they need soy sauce. So I'm not here to critique the recipe, but the cool thing is you could do so many things with this particular domain. You could continue to focus on the New Orleans area, food, cooking. If you're in the New Orleans area, that would be fantastic. You could go to different bars, restaurants, do reviews, help out small businesses, breweries, and the like. You could expand out to all of Louisiana or even beyond and just focus on the Southeast. You can do food reviews. You can do product reviews. So the affiliate area and the affiliate monetization play could be a great option because you could talk about the different products that you would need to cook certain dishes and just do straight up reviews. And you could also partner with local companies. I know I love to do a walking food tour to cities that I visit. It's almost a surefire fun time. It's fantastic. Do a food tour if you have the opportunity. But you could check these out, do reviews, and maybe have advertising for local companies that do sort of a tour group situation. So you can check out some of the others. This one is more recent in 2012, and you could check through here. There's some other snapshots through the years. Hopping over to Ahrefs, this is the important part. We have a domain rating of 8. We have 129 do follow domains. So those are the ones that are most important. And if we scroll down, you can see, it's kind of up and down, but fairly consistent. You don't see any funny business going on. And if we do take a look, we note that there are mostly .coms. There's one edu link, 10 .nets and a few .orgs there. Let's take a quick look over at the referring domains, and we'll probably filter quickly on do follow. Again, those are the ones that are most important. And we see Gawker.com, Chicago Reader, WordNick, Met Blogs, Dairyland, something I don't know, Shakesville, Gumbo Pages, and many more. So check it out, and don't forget that Odys has a 40% off sale for the month of February. Here on these selected domains. There's 232. Check them out. There's a great filtering mechanism to help you sort through it all. And thanks a lot to Odys Global. There's a link in the description. If you join using my affiliate link, you can get, $100 in your account. And make a purchase, I might get a commission, which I greatly appreciate. So let's get back to the show. All right. And that was Odys Global. So thanks a lot for checking that out. And we're back. We're just talking about good times over at Matt's place. He has a kick-ass little home brewery. Yeah. So what's next on tap? Are you going to brew anything soon?
I just brewed one over the weekend. I just brewed a smash beer, which is a single malt and single hop acronym. And I did it with Kveik yeast, and I called it the Quickening.
Okay.
Because it's pretty much done. I just have to keg it. Yeah, it only took like 3 or 4 days.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then you ferment that real hot, right?
Yeah, I fermented it at 80 degrees. Yeah.
Damn.
Could have gone to you can go up to 100 with those.
Really?
Yeah.
And the esters are under control?
Yeah. I tasted it yesterday. It tasted like beer. When
I first started brewing, I lived in a condo that south-facing in Atlanta, really hot.
Yeah.
And that beer style, that yeast was not
a thing
readily talked about or anything.
So you're doing Belgians then?
I was doing Belgians. Yeah. Which I love. But that would have been perfect because then you could let it rip. You could do some other
people put it on the porch in the middle of summer, and you get crazy fruit from it. It's nuts. Yeah. So if anybody gets the Quickening reference, that'll be a.
I don't. You don't have to tell me. All right. So that is one of the cool things, right? We can go from SEO to beer and back and forth. It's
easily.
Really crazy. So next big topic here, and we talked, for the people that just hopped on, we did talk about sort of like the implications of chat and AI integrated into SEO, search results, and what that might mean. And we're going to shift about using AI for your content website.
Okay.
So no one knows this, but you told me earlier that all the content on Swim University was written by AI. Is that true?
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah. So, Alison Inverness is her name. She's Irish or Scottish.
So here's the thing. I was really against like AI content for a long time, just because it was crappy.
Yeah.
It was crappy for a long time.
Yes.
I think both of us probably said, this reminds me of the article spinners of yore.
Yeah,
right?
A unique article wizard, baby.
Yeah. And I use those, and basically it would use like a thesaurus type situation. You could go through and like have a kind of uniquely written article by using a thesaurus. It was search and replace.
Yeah.
Pretty straightforward, kind of app to use.
Yeah, just switching around sentences. Like you had to write it in a certain way so that it could shuffle it.
Yep.
So
Yeah,
it would write everything. Yeah, it was nuts.
And, looking back, like we were so excited, we were just learning. And
Yeah.
we're like, oh, this is what you do and you
This
publish
is
it.
this
and
is just
earn
how
money.
you did it, right?
And now looking back, it's like, what
It's
the
disgusting.
fuck?
Yeah.
Like it makes no sense
Right.
to even do this.
No, I know.
And the crazy thing is now I think you can use some AI for helping you write. And I'll preface really quick and I'll say, I think it's possible that you could rank with AI, like straight up 100% AI written content.
Yes.
I don't think it'll be a long-term thing that you can do. I think if the barrier to entry is really low, then everyone can do it. And then to your point earlier, and this is the point I've been making, is like, okay, if let's say everyone can do it for virtually free and they can all flood the whole internet with kind of the same quality content.
Yes.
What's the differentiator? Then it'll be like
that's
personality.
That's
images.
why they added the extra E.
Sure.
Right? Because it's like now it's like having the experience in it is something that the AI can't replicate. Right? So they were like, oh, it's EEAT now. Which I'm like, why didn't they just replace E with E? I don't understand. We don't need. I kind of feel like expertise, trustworthiness, and authority. What is it? Authority. Authority.
Yeah.
Is it just authority or authoritarian? I don't want to say authoritarian.
Yeah, I think authority.
Authority.
Yeah.
But it's like, isn't authority and
Expertise.
expertise kind of the same thing?
Isn't it redundant?
Yeah, it feels redundant.
Yeah.
So just replace the E with expert or experience, and it makes sense.
Yeah. You're right. But these jokers at Google, they came out.
Just they want to make their acronyms longer.
They said that they love AI now. I'm paraphrasing. They didn't say love. But if you search for Google's...
It is Valentine's Day.
search guidance about AI generated content, they talk about how AI content is okay, which is a little different than what they were saying before, even though they were literally using AI to pull snippets.
Yeah.
The
machine learning,
machine learning, and it's all one and the same, right? Yes.
ML, AI,
So they don't want us to
mail. Sorry.
They don't want us to use automation or AI strictly to manipulate rankings and search results, and it's a spam policy situation.
Yeah.
Helpful content, people first content that demonstrates expertise, experience, authoritativeness, and trustworthiness. A lot of multiple syllable words in that.
Yeah.
So how do you use AI?
I use AI for copywriting because even though people will tell me, because I don't know if I would, people tell me I'm a good writer. I don't like saying that I'm a good writer because I spent my entire life being a bad writer. And dropped out of college because of failing English. I failed every English class except creative writing. Failed every English class in high school and dropped out of college because an English teacher told me I was shit, essentially. So I just have like a sort of a personal issue with writing. But because I don't have formal training, or I at least rejected it because I was terrible, I write as I speak, which back in the day, that used to be a terrible thing, and now it's like the greatest asset of all time.
Find your voice,
right?
Yeah,
it's like,
Yeah.
Can't write a business letter, but can definitely write a blog post. And so, but the thing that I'm bad at, I'm very good at describing a problem, telling a story, all of those things. The close is my weakness. I am not good at I'm not good at writing sales closing copy, if that makes sense, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I use Jasper in this case to basically figure out a couple of closers for me, and I spin up a bunch and then I edit it. Once I get something that I'm like, okay, that's pretty decent, I'll do it. The other thing I use it for a lot of things. So I use it for that. I use it for Facebook ads, especially because I have to spin up so many different Facebook ads to test against each other that I'm like, well, I'm not going to sit there and use my brain power and write each one of these separately. I'm going to write one, and then I'm going to put that into, Jasper and have it spin out a bunch of, close enough, but different hooks and stuff like that.
Right.
I also use it for emails sometimes, not Money Lab emails because they're so personal, but brew cabin emails, like homebrewing emails and pool emails, mainly just to get the intro out of the way, like the hook part. because I feel like that's the one. I'm really bad at closing and I'm bad at opening. So those pieces I think are really, really helpful just to get a ton of ideas from a robot. The other ones are like YouTube descriptions for videos, but the one I found out that I fucking love is YouTube headlines or YouTube titles. The way that I do that, I found this from a guy on YouTube. By the way, this guy's channel is like ridiculously good. It's Film Booth. If you ever follow him, dude, so good. Anyway, so that guy, he put out a post on YouTube, right? Not a video. The post was how he uses, or maybe not him, but he heard about how you can use ChatGPT to come up with like better titles for your YouTube videos. And they're brilliant. So what you can do is you can take your title that you've come up with, stick it into ChatGPT and say, okay, write this as a better YouTube title. Simple. So it could do that. Then you could say, use more dramatic wording because like it remembers what you just typed in. So then it does the same title with more dramatic wording. Then you tell it, do it in 50 characters or less. So it makes it shorter. And then you say, give me 20 of these. And then it's like, boom, you get 20 different versions of it. The other thing you can do, which is really brilliant, is you can take the intro of your video, like your actual script and what you say at the beginning of your video, and make it build a title off of that, which will help your retention rate. Because if you have a title and then the first thing you hear is like very related to that title, then you're more likely to stick through that past like 10, 30 seconds of the video, which is the biggest drop-off point in a video. So I was like, that's sick. That's so helpful.
That's awesome. I didn't know about the, load in the first, the intro portion to help out. But I have been using it exactly like you said for headlines, for subject lines, for
email subject lines for sure. Yeah, it's a big one. Yeah,
and usually like we've been doing this for a little while. We know short, punchy, like numbers help. Like we know some of the big things to do.
Yes.
It's really nice to just have 10 or 20 more ideas.
Yeah, it's nice to just be like, all right, I have an idea. I could, they tell you, like even like Ogilvy says this. It's like you should be spending 80% of your time writing the headline, right? So it's like, if you really want to dominate SERPs or you want to dominate YouTube, spend the time. Right, it used to be spend the time on the headline. Like you could spend a whole day coming up with like a million headlines ideas and like, testing them against one another, blah blah blah. And you really should do that. But it's just like no one did because it's like it feels so insignificant, but it's literally the most important thing.
Yeah.
Right, for the success of a video, and a lot of times. And so now you basically have a writer's room at your disposal. Right.
It's crazy.
That's the brilliance of it, and that's where it's like, it's a big form of leverage for especially a solo creator who's not going to be able to afford a bunch of writers or to build a writer's room for their YouTube videos. They now have that at their fingertips, and I just use it. For me, it's like I just don't like writing that much. Like as a person, like I do it out of necessity because of what we do as a business, but like. If I need to fill like a writer's block, it's great for that. It just doesn't work for technical stuff. So I can use it for salesy things and like, personal stories and just kind of giving me like just general ideas or like get the creative juices flowing. But like, ask it with the proper amount of shock for a 10,000 gallon pool in the midsummer. It's like not going to get that right. So, because it's taking my fucking website and respinning it up and then spitting back a wrong answer back at me. And I'm like, guys.
All right. So I have a couple things.
Okay.
And then I'll tell you some of the things that I've used it for. Number one, when you were talking about coming up with a headline, you had multiple instructions. So you asked for a title. You then gave it some tweaking instructions, and then you asked for 20 more.
Yeah.
You can put all those tweaking instructions in one prompt. So you're like, you could have just a chat there that's like, it does titles.
Yeah.
You train it on those like how to do titles, and you're like, it should be under 50 characters. It should be this. You should use dramatic words. Here's 50 of them that are awesome and they've done really well. And then here's all, like you train it, and then that chat is right there. And then you could say, here's the intro. If I give you an intro, use that also. And then boom, like you could just put in a little information. It's already trained every time. You don't have to go through all that shit.
Is that a thing that you copy and paste?
You can.
Okay.
You can put it together, and then as you build it, and you're like, oh, that actually like improved it. And then you could.
So you're doing this on your own. There's no like you're figuring this out and how to train it for yourself, not.
Correct.
Okay, understand.
And I'm watching some YouTube videos, and actually I have if people want to sign up, I have like free resources. There's a link in the show notes. It's notesiteproject.com/AI resources. It's all free. It's just like my personal notes. So I'm putting stuff together there. And so that's one thing. Like you could just have it like custom trained to do YouTube titles based on what you want for Brew Cabin, for Swim, whatever.
Sick.
So then it's like, you're with me.
I'm with you.
So crazy stuff, right? And then you don't have to retrain it every time. The other thing is like, talking about the writing and some of the technical skills, you could also train it on your writing. So you have a bunch of emails that you've already written, and you could say, here's email sample 1, email sample 2, email sample 3. What is the tone? Give me a prompt that would help generate that kind of content. It's reverse engineering.
Oh shit, that's so good.
Thank you.
So you're so hold on. I could take, say, 3 of the emails that I've written to Money Lab, paste it all in one prompt.
It depends on how long it is, but yeah, if it's like under, say, 3,000 words
really?
or something
and then
like
I could say, give me a prompt. I could tell it to give me a prompt to tell it next time to write in like that style.
You may have to, you'll have to massage it a little bit or whatever. But basically you could say, here, I'm Matt Giovanisi. Here are emails that I've written. Here is me. This is how I talk.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I didn't know you could do that. Wait,
yeah.
So then the next time you ask it, you could say like write in the style of Matt Giovanisi, and it fucking remembers that?
Yeah. And and you could, to your point of the technical. All right, there's more, right? So the technical stuff, right? So let's say you don't even like typing. I'm a slow typer, all right?
Okay.
So let's say you don't like typing.
Sure.
And you have you're trained, let's say it's trained on SwimU.
Yeah.
So you have 30 emails, you train it, email 1, email 2. You could put it in different prompts, right? Like you could separate it and it could hold that data, all right? You don't
forever. Like it's not like it just for my account, like for everyone's account. It's it's adding it to the.
I think it's just for your individual chat, like because you have different chats in the window, and they could change this.
So you have to keep reusing the same chat,
right? Or you could paste it back in, but you have it over there,
yeah.
So it just knows like, oh, this is the swim view.
Yeah, I didn't know how to
bot.
use that sidebar. I didn't understand why it. Yeah, okay, got it.
Yeah.
So you want to keep it. Siloed a little bit.
So train it, right? It knows the tone, it knows the style. And then you could say, I don't know any of the technical stuff, but you could say, hey, write an email on, what's the topic? Like chlorination levels or something?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Chlorination levels. And then you can have like the actual facts, right? You don't have to rely on it to get information from the mediocre internet. You could just say, here's bullet points, which to my point earlier, like if you're not a fast typer, you just do a voice transcription or whatever and say like bullet point 1, bullet point 2, bullet point 3. You could copy and paste it in, like if it's on the side of a box. Are you doing that? Not exactly.
To that extent, but you can.
You can. I've tested it out. And then again, you have your tone, your style for an email with the technical details that you input, and you could say, ignore everything else, only use this data, which you know to be correct.
Interesting. Did AI write the script for this video?
I'm not even real.
Oh, shit.
People are asking about the captions because apparently there's real-time captions. So I'm just saying what the captions are telling me to say right now.
Oh, my God.
It's a singularity.
If I do this, will you just like input like different...
Yeah, that's the hand up your rear there. Okay, so some of the other stuff that's kind of the formatting, rephrasing, ask about opposing views.
That's a good one. I like that one.
It finds a hole.
Yeah.
Like what opposition might someone have to the sales page,
yep.
and then you could patch those issues.
That's sick. Oh my God! Hold on. That just gave me an idea. That would really help copywriting, especially if you've done the research. Like I've done. Like I have a whole sales page where I don't know. I've been collecting actual customer like struggles with their pool, and I could put all of that shit into a chat, and then have it spit out sales copy based on all of that freaking actual customer feedback.
Yes.
Holy shit.
Yeah, yeah.
You know how many A/B tests I could be running right now to improve conversion rates on my sales pages with that kind of. That's the thing is like. That's I feel so bad for copywriters because I feel like it's one of the biggest things that I love about it.
Or right now, if copywriters start using it, they're gonna
they wouldn't
do so much better.
But like, no, I know they're not gonna hire them though. If it's anybody that knows that this exists and you can do this, like that's one less person in the job marketplace hiring for a copywriter.
Yeah, but here's the thing, right?
Yeah.
So I had the epiphany a couple weeks ago. We're talking now. You do this stuff all day long.
Yeah.
It didn't occur to you to do this, and you're pretty smart, right?
And I don't. No. If I'm being honest, but no. I told you I dropped out of college, right? No, but
that's not a good metric.
No, it's true. That's true.
Keep going.
But I don't use ChatGPT.
Okay.
I use Jasper still.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of limited from you know what I mean?
The chat portion of Jasper is okay.
Oh, is there one now?
There is. It's beta.
It's beta. So
but
I don't have it. Yeah.
It's essentially, I would say it's maybe 64. It's like 50% power, something like that. It might be less.
Yeah.
But like the stuff that I'm describing, you would really struggle to do it in the Jasper chat.
Right. So yeah, and it's interesting to have those chats up and using them as different sections for your business or like different tasks for your different businesses as well. Like the amount of emails, because that's the thing I struggle with is I know I should be sending more emails and I don't because I have to write them.
Mm-hmm.
But if I don't actually have to write them, or at least I get a first draft, because I love editing. That's the thing. Love editing. Hate the free writing, especially when I'm like, that blank cursor kind of thing. And it's like, all right, well, shit. Like, because every and I don't know if I could do this for Money Lab because again, it's such a personal thing. But if I can train it to be me, I'd be curious of what that does. I would be scared, but I'd be curious.
So, I think the other cool part. It's cool now, but like you don't want to sit. There's other stuff you could do. You don't want to sit at your computer to get like put the inputs. But I was going to say it's very easy to train. So you're like. You could figure out the correct prompt.
Yeah.
And then you could hire a VA.
Oh my God.
Part-time and just say like, hey, here's the trained prompt for this.
Yeah.
Here's the inputs. And then write an email. Here are the specs. Here's the bullet points.
So another thing based on that, and I think you kind of mentioned this, is like you could technically go through every email you sent, right? Look at every single subject line. Only pull subject lines that have a high open rate.
Yes.
And then train it to write you subject lines based on your previous open rates, on your previous best performing headline or subject lines.
Yeah, totally.
Sick.
And actually, here's a business idea for someone. So a lot of people have the swipe files, right?
Yeah,
popular thing.
yeah.
So if you're not familiar, if you see a good email, you save it and throw it in your swipe file. See a good sales page, put it in your swipe file. So when you're writing something, then you could have a really good reference. Well, you could train, you could use you could look at your own data if you have it. But if you don't, you can go to someone's swipe file that they've collected and then published and just input all that and then have a really well-trained bot for that specific thing.
Interesting. That's just as a tangent. Mm-hmm. I don't like swipe files.
I never did much with them.
You know why? Because I'm like, well, who the fuck said that this was good? Because I'm reading it and I'm like, I don't know if this is good. How many sales did this Facebook ad convert?
I swiped, the few that I swiped were products that I purchased, knowing that I was pretty.
But maybe it's just that, I don't know. Maybe it was just that you were interested in the product and the copy didn't do anything to persuade you. You were already persuaded,
Yeah.
That's the thing, is like I don't know what swipe to trust to copy. But I guess the point is try a bunch, and then that's the thing, is like A/B test it, everything A/B test.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's for me as a business owner, the true power of it is the ability to allow you to spin up A/B tests much faster. And because that has always been, and I used to be very against A/B testing because I was lazy and didn't want. I'm like, I have to create 2 of these. This sales page is already like 4,000 words. I got to create another version of this. How am I going to do that?
Right.
And then like I don't have that many people coming to my website. Like, is it going to actually work? But it's like, well, yeah. But if you have this thing that's like, here's my sales page. Poop out a new one. Here it is.
Yeah.
And then it's like, cool. A/B test. Let it run for 6 months. Who gives a shit?
Right.
So
quick, people ask questions. We're going to be able to start hitting questions here. So we have one from Jason here. It says, can the learning stuff be done with Jasper? I think it can be done to a lighter extent.
You can't save chats, can you?
I am not sure how
sure
it
either.
works. That is one of the nice things with Jasper is you do have the document editor area, and you can use some of that stuff and save it. But I'm not 100% sure. And I saw a question from Nicole earlier here, which will come into play in just a second. And I do a couple other things with ChatGPT. So first she says, is Matt always so smart and sassy? What do you think, Matt?
I appreciate both of those descriptors. Sassy? I like that one. Smart? I don't know. I think it's like I think about this shit a lot. Do you know what I mean? Like this is my hobby.
Right.
So I'm smart here, and I might be smart with like beer.
Yeah.
And then that's pretty much where it ends. Like my toilet's been running for like 3 days. I don't know what I'm doing.
Oh, Elizabeth, she had to replace both of our valves, so you could ask her. Maybe she could do some handy lady work.
Yeah,
she's pretty good at it.
Yeah, it's like that. When it comes to that stuff, I'm an idiot. Like I'm a real big dum-dum.
All right, and then the question we'll hit in a second here. So Nicole also asked, are we personally concerned about your income going down soon? So we'll come back to that in a quick second. Couple other things I'm going to throw in. So with ChatGPT, you can create templates. You could actually kind of reverse engineer, feed in information, say, hey, I'm going to try to do, or I want a template for content for a product review. Here's a sample, cover this stuff, give me the template. And then you can give that to a VA. Speaking of VAs, you can create a job posting, right? So you're like, hey, I'm going to hire a writer that does this, create a job posting. That's helpful.
That is helpful.
Outlines for podcast, YouTube, whatever.
Script writing.
Yeah.
Huge.
Very helpful.
Yeah.
And really anything else aside from actually writing the content.
Yeah.
I think that's what you can use it for.
Yeah. Yeah. You do need it's the first draft. That's all of its first draft, I think, right?
Yeah. First draft, and it can give you those opposing views. It can give you beginner type questions that if you're an expert in something, you may have forgotten.
Yeah. And a million different headlines. Yeah, it's great.
So you do this thing called Money Lab Pro. I'm going to give you a few minutes to chat about it now before we keep pushing forward here. So what's Money Lab Pro? I'm a member, by the way.
Yeah, Money Lab Pro is it's hard. I'm having a hard time describing this. I need to type this in the ChatGPT to help me craft my perfect elevator pitch for it. But because it's a community. So I worry calling it that because I think there's so many now, and it's like, well, what makes your community any different? What makes my community different is, one, I took all of the products that I've ever made for Money Lab. So I have a course on SEO, affiliate marketing, just general monetization, page speed. I have my WordPress theme, Carbonate, which is the best thing that I've apparently, according to a lot of people, it's the best thing I've ever made. I have an editorial calendar course in there, and when you subscribe to Money Lab Pro, which is a monthly subscription, you get access to a community full of people who are actually building an online business, who have been doing it for like a minute, right? Not like noobs. And we try to filter out people who are like entrepreneurs. So it's all people who are true entrepreneurs who are making money full time with their thing or about to be full time, right? And all of the courses are available, all new courses that we create. We're doing workshops every month, with community members and outside community members. I do a weekly call every Friday, a weekly Zoom call with people in the community that show up. We call it happy hour, because it's drinking. Yeah. We're going to start doing a happy hour after dark or an after hours kind of thing.
Oh, yeah.
Just for people who are not in the United States at 3 o'clock Mountain Standard Time. On a Friday. But all of those calls are recorded and they're turned into an audio podcast private for community members so they can listen to it. Also, every week we publish a video podcast that is exclusive for the members. So only members of Money Lab Pro see the weekly fully produced video podcast, which does go out as an audio podcast for everybody else, but the video version is only for people in Money Lab Pro.
Cool.
And that's Money Lab Pro. It's basically a community / Netflix account for building a swim university type of site.
Cool.
Which I have, again, a hard time describing. I ask people, is it a niche site? Is it an authority site? People are like, it looks like a D2C Ecamm business. I'm like, yeah, but that's not how it started. But it's also barely that, so.
D2C being down to clown, right?
Down to clown business, yeah.
So, okay, this is great. We have a handful of questions in here. And yeah, pitch for Money Lab. Great community. It's like real people doing real stuff.
Yeah.
In fact, we have one of the several community members, but I know Orchard People, Susan.
Thank you.
I just chatted with her. I have an interview coming out with her in a few weeks.
Oh, she's great. Yeah.
Yeah. Great conversation. I'm excited to publish that one in a few weeks. And the video podcast is like what spawned this conversation because I saw you published one on
ChatGPT.
Yep.
Which I only made private. That was not something that went out on YouTube.
And I was like, this is perfect.
Yeah, I didn't know how to edit it for YouTube. That's why. It's just like, I don't know. This one's a little...
It's all over the place.
A little all over. Yeah.
So
it's by the way, it's moneylab.co/pro if you're interested.
Yeah. And I have an affiliate link in the description.
Oh, add it.
Yeah. So
sorry.
That's
scratch that.
However they get there, it doesn't matter. I don't really care. And Carbonate's great. I was looking, I use another theme called Thesis DIY Themes, Chris Pearson. And I'm going to be starting up a new site coming up soon, even though, I'm always like, I'm not going to start something new.
Yeah.
But I was like, I could just kind of throw something together. I'm going to put Carbonate on. I used it for one site a while back, but I haven't used 2.0, which I know is like.
Yeah, it's a little bit better.
Little less in the code, right?
Less in the code. Yeah.
Okay. So you really don't have to get in the code if you're not customizing.
You don't have
anything.
to, no.
Cool.
Actually, right now, only to change the favicon, but.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
That's easy.
And I'm going to be using it too. I have an idea for. I'm going to start up a new site.
You are? Can you tell us what it is?
No, I have no idea. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it like in real time.
Oh, you are?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's an idea. Because I'm like, I could. It's like doing the keyword research like in real time and like picking the niche in real time and doing all of that. So we'll see. That'll be interesting.
Are you going to share it only inside the community or outside as well?
No. It's going to be YouTube.
Oh,
only.
YouTube.
Yeah.
So I've had many debates. It'll be great to grow your channel. People love to see the real-time stuff.
Yeah, I have two ideas. One is to build a brand from pure scratch, something that I'm interested in. Yeah. And the other is to buy a site and not flip it, but basically rebuild it.
Okay.
Like how I would clean it up, how I would like rebrand, all that kind of stuff.
How much are you looking to spend on the site?
I don't. Probably something that anybody could spend. Not like I wouldn't spend like 50 grand or even maybe like 10 grand, but probably anything under 10.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't like. I've never bought a site before, so I'd be
okay. I have one that you might be interested in, which I'll tell
okay.
you
Yeah,
offline.
yeah.
But
that would be the best if I didn't have to go on friggin' like Empire Flippers or something to find it. Like if I just knew somebody was like, "Here's, I'll sell you this." I'm like, I'll just take it.
Yeah. And it'll be like, I'm pretty sure the topic area is something that like you'll dig a lot.
Yeah.
And there'll be a lot of like opportunity for you.
Okay. Sick.
And it'll be interesting.
Yeah.
So, okay. Back on track. So Money Lab Pro, check it out. It's pretty cool if you want to join a community. And one of the big things, so Matt's bad at closing. What I'll tell you.
Thank you.
I'll jump
See,
in.
I need a ChatGPT. Write me a script.
Your life is not complete. No, it's too strong. I need to pull it back in a little bit. So I think if it's one of those quotes, right? So you're the average of the people that you hang around. I'm not even going to say the exact quote, but if you're around a bunch of people,
you are who you eat. Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Okay.
You are who you eat.
Mm-hmm.
And it's more true for working online than anything else. So if you're around people that are actually executing and they're not sitting around researching forever and not taking action, the community is full of people that are like on their way. They have a few years of experience. They're happy to share information.
Yeah.
I know in our industry, and I'm one of them, I don't like to share like my sites because there's a lot of people with a lot of time.
Yep.
But in the community, people are like, I work on this.
Yeah.
And you can ask advice and you see someone has like great YouTube experience, or they've done online courses, or they have a great lead magnet and they can generate them really easily. Like there's experts in different areas, and that is like the biggest value. Mm-hmm. So check it out. And there's a link in the description. So Matt and I are in there. You're in there all the time, right?
Yeah, every day.
Susan's in there. It's cool.
Yeah.
All right. Do regular people even care about AI?
No. It's so funny. I've brought this up on my show. So Spencer Hawes had a tweet about niche pursuits. He had a tweet that was like, would it be a good idea if I did a YouTube video where I went into like my local Walmart and just asked people what they thought, like man on the street, what do they thought of ChatGPT? And I was like, in my head, I think I even tweeted back. I was like, good luck. They're not gonna know shit. Like so my brother helps me with my podcast, and I was like, even on that show, I said, have you ever used ChatGPT? And he goes, I know it's a thing, but I actually don't know what it does, and I've never used it. But like I've heard it. So, and this is a guy who is technical. Mm-hmm. Like not in our space, but like, a young, gamer, techie kind of guy, right? So I was like, all right, if he is never used, it's definitely not mainstream. It's kind of like Clubhouse, right? Remember Clubhouse was like it got really big, but it was like just for people in the entrepreneur space, and then that was it. And it came and went so goddamn fast. It
was like a COVID thing, and I remember hearing about it, and I was like, this sounds like one of those flash in the pans, and I like don't give a shit. I got a few invites, and I was like, I'm out. I'm not even. This is a fucking waste of time.
Yeah, I never did one. I like the idea of it. Like I because I like talking, so it's like anything I can be invited to that I can talk at a round table kind of discussion, I'm like into it. But like
we need to control to silence people like we're doing now. Like we have the whole chat here, which is fantastic, and we're going to hit some questions. Yeah. But the hard part is when, the Clubhouse.
That makes sense. Yeah. Well, it's like, what it is? You never been to an HOA meeting? Fucking worst, absolutely terrible. So yeah, imagine that for fun.
Yeah. So yeah, I agree. I don't think regular people really care about AI other than like, it being convenient, getting answers faster. And
the fact that it came after creatives first is really fascinating. You know what I mean?
It's it's so interesting. And I think if someone just hopped in and they did what we did in the first couple of weeks, it's like, it's kind of interesting. Who cares? But then like the level of stuff that we were talking about, that's probably like 2 or 3 levels in where like someone could do some really powerful stuff if you know what to do and what to feed it and how to train it. Like it sounds like a dog, right? How to feed it and train it.
I know.
And
it's
then
a Tamagotchi.
Nurture it.
Yeah.
And it has feelings.
Yeah.
And whatever.
Yeah.
You can't just put a bowl in there and put it in a cage.
No, but it helps you hunt ducks. You know, it's like it has it's a, you know what it is? It's like it's a great assistant, and it is a great like it's like a mini writer's room, and I think I don't know, I think it's a great tool. It's a great tool, and I'm also a little afraid of it.
Well, let's talk about that.
Yeah.
So future-proofing your business
Yes.
is something that you kind of, you didn't coin it, but you
No.
run with it hard.
Yeah.
And you talk about it all the time. So
I did coin untouchable business. My untouchable business model.
TM.
Yeah.
So let's talk. There's a few different areas. So we're talking like traffic sources and lead generation, maybe physical products, digital products, other things that you might be able to do. But I mean, you have a site that's pulling in over $500,000 a year, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you're getting how much traffic from Google?
70%.
Okay.
I had to look it up the other day.
70%.
Yeah.
Where is the other traffic coming from?
The other traffic is coming from YouTube, Pinterest, and direct. I get a lot of direct.
Okay. What's the breakdown for the others roughly?
Yeah,
the second biggest.
YouTube is like a 1%. Then it's Pinterest, which is maybe at about 10%, and then the rest is direct.
Okay, so another 14%.
Yeah, and I
direct.
believe it's a combination of email and just, again, since 2006, brand recognition. So like I get a lot of searches for Swim University.
Okay.
People type that into Google all the time.
So
same with my name. Like Money Lab does no SEO. So all of our traffic comes from basically Twitter and word of mouth.
Right. Okay.
And hopefully YouTube. Tying
back to what we talked about earlier,
mm-hmm.
all the way to the beginning of the conversation where I was like, man, you're not scared.
No.
And so you got 70% of your traffic from Google.
Yeah.
So if you lost let's say one of these updates hits you a little bit, like
mm-hmm.
not major, but it drops your traffic by say 30%, which is significant.
Yep.
And it doesn't mean you're like penalized. It doesn't mean you had a manual action. It just means Google has now turned the thumb screw, and whatever you're doing, they didn't like, or they accidentally cut you up, which is happens every single update.
Yeah.
So how are you not scared?
Mm-hmm.
Because it could represent a 40% drop in your traffic and probably revenue.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. I'm not scared because I've been building an email list for so long. Mm-hmm. So I have, I think that if I lost all that traffic, I could operate a business. I would lose money for sure. But there's a few things. One, my business is only run by 3 people. Those people are my family members. So we're kind of all in it together,
mm-hmm.
And if everything does well, we all benefit. If it does poorly, we all, take the hit together, So it's not that like I'm the owner and I get like this exponentially more money than everybody else. My goal, it's not there yet, but my goal is that we're all paid the exact same amount of money salary-wise, and we're all in charge of our domains.
Mm-hmm.
Steph and I are very close. My brother's still working in the business and coming up. But once that's the case, then it's like when the business does poorly for whatever reason, we all do poorly.
Mm-hmm.
But that's all I have to worry about is those people. I don't have this massive team. I don't have like all this capital going out to, hoping that this thing stays afloat. It's just that. So
it's lean. You're not going to go out of business,
and it's ridiculous. And it's a ridiculous amount of money now, if I'm being honest. Like it's like
the margins are very high.
Yeah, it's so good. So I'm like, all right, well, one, let's all save our money. And we've been doing that, right? We have assets, things like that. We've been investing in other things. And that's sort of like the behind the scenes of it. On top of that, the email list, I could keep sending emails to that list and keep selling products for a good long while. But on top of that, I do paid ads too. So like I don't mind paying to play because I have products with high enough margins that I can do that.
Mm-hmm.
So and I'm constantly trying to innovate new products that will increase our LTV, which is our lifetime value per customer. And even this year, like, we have a new product that we're going to test, and we're going to see if it works. And if it does, it's going to vastly improve our LTV. And it's something we can sell via email, and we don't have to sell, it's not going to be an impulse. It's like one of those products that, like, can't be impulsy. And I also, and this is like more of a personal thing, I've never, ever, ever, ever in my life have worried about being able to afford or being able to make money. I shouldn't say afford anything. I've been working since I was 13. Mm-hmm. I've had a job. Even when I didn't have a job, I got a job. Like, so like, if this all goes away, I can consult, or I could do website design for people, or I could do logo design, or I could do a billion other things, except write, because then that's just ChatGPT. But all those other things that, right now an AI can't do, I can do. Like, I've built up the skills to, maybe we all three of us have to go get our own jobs, but we can do the skills that we learned in the process of building these companies. So that's why I'm not scared, because at the end of the day, like, I'll be able to do something. And the thing that really scares me is losing my hands.
Okay.
Right?
Yep.
But then I just think, all right, well, then I could just be a consultant.
Yeah.
Because again, from the 15, 17 years of skills that I've built up, building these businesses, I have skills. And I think that's the biggest asset, right?
Once you figure out that you can, like, start your own business, earn some money online, like, you listed out like 5 or 6 things, like, you would actually struggle to pare it down to figure out which one you want to focus on.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the other part, we've had conversations in the past, and you're part of the financial independence community a little bit. So like, you were aiming to, like, hit retirement at like age 40.
Yeah.
So, like,
where are we?
Yeah. Like, I mean, you're in good shape is the point. Like,
thank you. I've been working on it.
So, both of us are up here in our ivory towers. Like, we're not worried about income dropping, because we've prepared, like, during the good times.
I've known lean times.
Yes.
I've known being broke as shit.
Yeah.
And I was happy then too.
Right.
Or whatever the equivalence of happiness is in this world. But like, I wasn't miserable because I was broke. I just worked differently. I just made money differently. I made less of. So, also, too, that somebody asked me I did a podcast. I don't remember which podcast it was, but they asked me, like, if I had any advice for, like, people who are just getting started in this world that we're in. And my advice is, like, learn how to manage money first. And that was before you start a business, because that's what I did, not knowing that it was the greatest thing it was the greatest decision I could have ever made. Mm-hmm. Because in my head at the time, I was so incredibly bad with money. I was so bad that my mom isn't necessarily good with money, but she's a hoarder of money. And so I said to her, I'm so bad with money that I need you to take my paychecks and just give me an allowance. Like, I'm 25, I have my own place, and I needed my mommy to give me an allowance using my own money, because I was like, there's no way I'm going to fix this.
Yeah.
And then as soon as I started the online business thing, I'm like, that's the first thing I have to fix, because if I start making money, I'm just going to spend it all on dumb shit and, whatever I was doing at the time. And so I learned that first when I was making, like, crap money. I learned how to manage, and I learned how to not be afraid to check my bank account, and I learned the principles of FIRE before it was FIRE. Learned how to automate my finances so I could start to invest and start to save automatically. All those principles. Pay yourself first. All the basic personal finance principles there are out there. So I learned all that before I made any money doing this.
Right.
And I was like, thank fucking God I did that.
Yeah. it pays off, well in the future. And like I was saying,
Still, to this day.
It's, made it takes the pressure off. And the fact that we're confident enough to think like, hey, we can start another business in a different area. You're like, oh, I could start another website, see how it goes. It's been a couple of years,
Yeah, I have an emergency fund still.
Right.
And it's like I still follow those principles, but now I have an opportunity fund, which is like if something were to come up, like there's a business that needs investors or whatever, like I can do that. And if that doesn't come up and my business takes a shit, guess where the opportunity money goes to me?
Right.
It's like an opportunity to maybe build a new business somewhere in a different without using SEO.
Yeah.
Right. But that's the other thing too. Money Lab is not an SEO based business at all.
Right.
I get no traffic from SEO. And that does $100,000 a year.
Yeah.
So that is like the other fallback, which is like, God forbid all the other ones tank because of SEO. I actually have a business that doesn't rely on it at all. And that was by design.
Right.
So
funny you mentioned that niche site project. It never got a lot of traffic, but there was like a heyday in maybe 2017, 2018. It's maybe getting like 25,000 visitors per month. Like still not much.
Yeah, still not much. Yeah, but definitely more than mine. Yeah.
The thing is though, like in certain industries, that's
huge.
That's a lot of money. Like if you have your own products.
That's a lot of qualified eyeballs.
And it was, very specific. And the interesting thing, which was kind of sucky, like traffic, because I don't blog that much there.
Yeah.
And traffic sort of dwindled on the SEO side. Internet marketing is one of the most difficult industries because they're all marketers and we all know the same thing, right?
Yeah.
So it dwindled, but now I don't get too much traffic, which kind of sucks. But at the same time, it's what you just mentioned. Like I'm not relying on SEO traffic. I don't care about the volatility.
Right.
I spend some time on YouTube, which is nice. The thing is, my content is long form. It's like people are into it or they're not.
Yeah, you're in or out.
Yeah. So it's very like I'm not.
Yeah, you're like, oh, I have like 50,000 subscribers, but there are a very high qualified 50,000 subscribers, right? It's like and you can live off that.
Yeah. And the thing is, like, it doesn't grow as much because it's not. I've started to do some shorts, but I'm not catering as much to the algorithm because I don't want to burn out. That's the thing. Right. I saw a lot of people ahead of me burning out, and I was thinking I just want to be consistent, in my own style, and then it works, very well.
That's my plan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and people, I'm pretty sure I linked to your YouTube channel so people could check that out. And are you going to be publishing more there? Like, what's the deal?
We're trying to, like, we're still trying to figure out the bottleneck of editing, but idea-wise, we have a ton of ideas. Recording the episodes is easy as pie. It's as easy as what we're doing right now. Like we have all this, we have a studio set up the way you do here. And so there's no friction to recording it. The friction is right now all in editing. And we are trying to figure that out. And that's why we're uploading so infrequently right now. Like we actually have more long form video podcasts in Money Lab Pro than we do on like edited YouTube videos because of the editing takes so long. But we're figuring it out. So I'm hoping by March we will have a high, like very consistent output, meaning like every Monday a new video, edit it, goes out on YouTube. Got it. That's the plan.
I saw this might help. I saw I think it's Tim Schmoyer at Video Creators. Is he the one that does that?
Yeah.
I met him a couple times at FinCon.
I did too.
Super cool guy.
Yes.
And he
at FinCon?
Yeah, he went to FinCon a couple.
I met him at VidCon.
Okay. Yeah. So he spoke a couple times, and I just happened to chat with him like randomly, and I was dude, I've watched a lot of your stuff. Super nice guy. So he would do a live stream, but he would like in the middle of it for like 15 minutes. He's like, all right, we're gonna record the podcast now, and then he basically just like pretended like he was doing a podcast, ignored the chat, did his stuff. So you might be able to do like a live stream.
Oh, like leverage it.
But in the middle, you do like a scripted thing where you don't pay attention to anything else. You're just like, this is one take. And then
interesting.
It should be pretty tight.
Yeah.
Probably easier for Chris to edit.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, and doing it as a live first, because I stopped doing lives because I feel like they weren't hitting the algorithm correctly. You know, like they have a different way that people discover them.
Yep.
But to do it live and then take those and re-upload them as edited videos and then re-upload it as a long-form recorded podcast that's edited and then upload that as shorts, like, you know, like taking like one live stream and just doing editing to make so many pieces of content across multiple platforms. That was the goal of what we were trying to do. And it turns out, you know, it's just the editing on that is just so time consuming when you have to take an hour-long gab fest and cut it down. Like the last one we did, or the first one we did, was an hour-long podcast about picking a niche that I edited down to 6 minutes.
How long did it take you to edit that?
It took me probably 4 hours just to cut the A-roll, right? Which is like not that terrible, but every week, you know, like it's just a very tedious job. And then it's like, oh, that's just the A-roll pass. Now I have to do all the punch zooms, all the transitions, all the sound effects, all the captions now that people are adding to videos, like adding the text to the videos, any B-roll I had to film, like now it's 2 days, you know, of work, you know, to make one video on another video when it's like, oh, I could, you know, if we're recording live, like what you said Tim was doing, it's like you're kind of like recording to edit.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so that's why we're now trying this thing where we're going, okay, it's actually shorter for us to record with the purpose of we're going to edit this, as opposed to we're recording a podcast where, you know, things are sort of loosey-goosey and letting that just be the show. And then doing that, and then once I've done it, like we've just talked about ChatGPT for, you know, basically an hour and a half, right? Yeah. So I now have said everything that I've wanted to say, and it's fresh in my brain. So it's like, okay, hit stop, hit record again, and this time I'm going to distill it all down in real time, right? With the script now and all the notes that I took during my episode. So it's like almost like you're scripting on the fly, and that is content. Yeah. Right. I mean, you have a loose script, which we flesh out. And then it's like, oh, now if we were going to re-record it with like all the best stuff, which now that I'm saying all of this out loud, doing it live is really interesting because you get feedback from the audience on which parts are actually good. Yeah. And then you can go, oh, that's what we're gonna do a video on just on that part, like just on your prompts, right? Yeah. Like I bet you got a lot of questions during that section, and it's like, oh, that's an entire video, right? Easy.
And thinking about it, I mean, those are some of the video ideas that I had anyway. Yeah. But like when we're talking about it, it is like the editing is so hard that like you're realizing it's probably easier just to like do a script. It'll take me maybe 10 minutes to shoot it, and then like it's pretty tight and it's like insane. But you had to go through the hour to.
And do you know why it takes so long? Is because you're in constant, and why it's so hard. You're in constant decision-making mode. Yes. Should I keep this? Should I not keep this? Every fucking sentence. Yeah. Is your brain's going yes or no? No. Yes, maybe. Yes or no.
Is it redundant?
Is it redundant? Did I already say that? Oh shit! This part should probably be moved over here. It's just doesn't make any sense. So yeah, there you go.
Okay, so let's hit the chat here. We had some great stuff. So Fruit Cat Bat does mention, I feel like this is going to dumb us down significantly. Who wants to research and publish when next week AI can do it for free with a little effort? And people ask more questions. Jonathan says, are you going to continue to use writers for your niche sites? So I'm currently using a writer for one of my sites. And I think, hopefully I said it earlier but if you're able to get content from AI now and rank it, there's little chance, in my opinion, that it's going to last a long time. I have a caveat, but Matt, you guys are writing your own stuff, right?
We write everything. Yeah. Yeah. And it's because of the first E, the new E, right? Like Brew Cabin, I'm only writing articles that I know intimately that I've done. Mm-hmm. And then I reverse engineer the SEO for it. Sure. So instead of, it's like, so it's like, oh, what's the best immersion chiller? Well, I actually have like 3 or 4 of them. So it's like I can take pictures. I could tell you exactly what I think, and I could do actual real world test on it, and just be like, oh, I've made 100 beers this year, and this is the chiller that is literally the fastest one, or whatever, and this is the one I like cleaning the best because again, I have experience with it. So yeah, we're writing everything.
Okay,
we're only using AI to like goose some stuff. You know what I mean?
And one thing that I tested and it worked out okay, and I'll probably continue to do it in the future, is I did a video. It was a short one, like 10 minutes long. I pulled the transcript, put it into ChatGPT, and I said, give me a blog post based on this transcript from YouTube.
Sick.
And
it was decent.
90%. I mean, it was really good. I said, format it, put the subheadings in there too.
Oh,
and now I know how to use ChatGPT better.
Yeah.
So I could probably get a much better output just with a couple prompts just based on that. So these videos.
You started the video with just bullets.
Yeah. And I just talked.
Right.
And one of the AI detectors said it was like 63% chance that it was AI. So I talk like a robot.
Yeah, but there's no way that those things work.
They're interesting. Like they give you all this kind of different. If you use different ones, they'll give you opposing views. So at best, I would say like they may be like 60% correct. I mean, if you look at the content, it's kind of shitty. Like you can go with your gut on it, but like I said, I think, and by the way, I ranked number 1 for the topic that I was writing on based on the transcript in the ChatGPT. And if I actually put a little time into it, I bet it would rank even better.
What's interesting about that is that's not AI written content.
It is not.
It's AI edited content.
Yeah. So
that's what it's really good for.
Yes. Yeah. In the same way that we're talking, like we have media companies, right?
Yes.
Various platforms. So we could just like use it as a tool and we could talk like all fucking day long.
Right.
And this is where it's really interesting.
Yes.
Or, right, here's another thought. You have your hour-long live stream.
Yep.
Okay. You feed it into ChatGPT. You say, here are the points that I want to cover based on this. Please write a script in the style of Matt G. So then.
Oh, then you record that.
Yeah.
That's your fun. Damn.
Yeah,
Sick.
yeah.
I have
coaching.
That. Yeah, I have that the ChatGPT SEO podcast that I did that I didn't even make into a short video, like an edited video. Yeah. But what I could do is take the transcript from that, right? Stick it into ChatGPT and say, "Hey, write me a short YouTube script in under 10 minutes or something, or under 5 minutes. Yeah. Give me a script, and then I could throw it on a teleprompter, edit it obviously, throw it on a teleprompter, and then do what I just did already, but way faster, and just hit the highlights."
You're welcome.
That's a sick move.
All right. From build a niche site, although Google is tolerating AI now, do you think it will go the way of article spinners in the future? What do you think, Matt?
Well, I mean, yeah, that's what we're essentially doing, right? We're spinning articles, which is what's going to happen, right? Backlinks become completely irrelevant because who needs them? Now anybody can just spin up guest posts at.
No, I think backlinks are even more important now. And like, by the way, I think most of the authority and trust comes from backlinks over.
Well, even
else.
Google has said that they're using it less and less as a factor.
Backlinks. Mm-hmm. I mean, I believe it, but like if you look at the data and you see like the sites that it's a big debate.
I know, but you just said that you ranked for that thing that you did, right?
Yeah.
Using AI. How many backlinks do you have versus like the 9 other results? I bet you have less.
Actually, it's a weird example. It was a very specific low competition thing.
Sure.
I cheated basically. And my site has a decent number of links. It's like a DR60,
your whole site,
whatever. Something. So
but yeah, I think I mean, you know me, I hate fucking backlinks. But that's what spinning articles was for. It was for getting backlinks, like very quickly.
Right.
So yes, do I think that this is the same thing? Yes,
I think
because now you can, right?
I
It's
think
gonna be abused by old school SEOs.
right. But those links that you're talking about don't matter. Like the shitty links, those won't help. It's links from like if you link from Swim University.
Yes.
So like
yes.
those links matter.
Those
so
links
it'll
matter,
be
yeah.
like those are the ones, not crappy ones.
True, but but people still do that shit.
Well, I mean, and they don't work.
No, they don't work. But
But
they think
people
they
that do the big guest posting campaigns,
yeah,
those work.
those work. Yeah,
Those
for sure.
It's really expensive. It's really hard
Oh
to do.
yeah, I bet.
But
But
those
yeah, you
work.
could use AI for that.
And okay, so do you think Bing will get the upper hand with
No, come
ChatGPT?
No. You know what? No.
I think they'll make a big dent. And if
You're gonna use Bing,
I checked it out,
you checked out the new AI version.
I haven't tested that yet.
Yeah.
It wasn't rolled out when I was messing
Yeah.
with it. But
I haven't either. But
Um,
come on,
the other, I mean, I think they'll
it's a
make
good
a big
push. Yeah.
a big dent in. Yeah, I'm curious. I would love to see a big disruption where it's like Google now has like 40% market share.
That'd be
awesome.
That would be ridiculous. And it's because they like Bing doesn't need the money from Bing.
Yeah.
Right? Google, that's kind of Google's thing. So who knows? I don't know. That's an interesting one. But then it's like, why Bing over, now Bing, because of they fund it, OpenAI, right? They're the biggest investor of OpenAI. They're the ones that all their servers are built on Microsoft servers. It's interesting, but then like, why not DuckDuckGo? Why not bring Ask Jeeves back
I would
as an AI bot? That would be dope.
I would check out DuckDuckGo. I used it for a short
Did
time,
you?
but then
Because it's like privacy stuff, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm like everybody else, and I just want like the easy, like I want low friction.
Low friction, yeah.
So, all right, I'm checking to see if we have any more questions here. Something about backlinks.
I'm surprised they haven't gotten like a ton of questions.
There's a lot of action in the chat.
Oh, okay. So
I
now you have to. God, if only there was like a assistant, a virtual type of
to just like put in the questions
who could
here.
just like sift through this and find the best questions.
All right. And I think yeah, we've been at it for a while. Matt, do you have any other like broad points?
No, I had a joke in my head that's not appropriate for the live stream, but
Okay.
for broad points.
You could tell me after.
No, I don't.
Girthy point. Do you have a girthy point?
Girthy points? No, I don't have anything. No, I don't.
Okay.
I don't think so.
All right.
I would love questions if you had any.
Okay. We'll ad lib for a second. We'll see if we can come up.
Yeah,
with a few others.
if you said a question but we didn't see it.
Yeah.
Now, like repost it, right?
Yeah. Re-ask the question
And
we'll
add
give it a
like
couple
50
minutes.
question marks so that comes up like, oh, this is a question.
I will.
Because
I will
we're
definitely see
not
it.
bots. We can't scan for question marks that quickly.
Not well. I tried to mark them as we went.
Oh, you can do that?
One thing, if people are still on and you're watching the replay, leave a comment, like the video. It helps out quite a bit. Definitely
Yeah.
check out Matt's channel. He's going to be, you have a shitload of videos out there. So if
yeah.
people-
It's been a minute.
Yeah. Even if you're not publishing super regularly,
Yeah.
you have probably like 100 plus videos or something.
Yeah, we have. Yeah. We have 2 videos that we launched recently. We have 2 in the can.
Mhm.
So one of them will come out this week. Another one will come out next week. We are recording Thursday, so we're doing it.
Cool.
It's happening. We're
Nice.
trying really hard on like thumbnails and titling and stuff like that, but
Yeah. Okay. Are you doing anything with shorts?
yeah, we took those first 2 episodes and we kind of broke it up into shorts, and they were
Mhm.
very mediocre. The results we got from those.
Okay.
So, I think what we're gonna do, we've talked about this too, is like, it's really hard to edit. It's really hard to edit things that weren't meant for those things. So we're thinking about it as like all of the work is really done in pre-production, where it's like, okay, here's it's like if we had an idea for a video. And here are the 5 bullet points that we want to hit in this video. That's a podcast, right? Where we could just riff and do whatever. And then we take that video, we hit record again, and we take those 5 bullet points and we just don't bullshit. We just hit those 5 bullet points. That becomes the edited video where we don't have to cut out anything. We don't have to make decisions. The decisions are pre-made. And then those 5 bullet points, we re-record 5 different times for shorts, going and hitting each bullet point like highly targeted. And then the thought there is, well, why record the same thing multiple times? That feels redundant. But when you compare the amount of time it takes to record versus the amount of time it takes to edit the long version, hour-wise, it's shorter, right?
Yep.
And if in my company everyone's getting paid the same, it's everyone's time is equally valuable. So it's not like, oh, I could just hire, somebody for like $2 an hour in another country to just like sift through an hour of content and cut things up. It's like, no, it's everything's every minute is precious in the entire business. So if we can, feels like, and then it's like, oh, then we're making content specifically for these styles and platforms, right? So, we might do YouTube Shorts different than we do Instagram Reels, different than we do TikToks. But right now we're just focused on YouTube Shorts because they're they're commercials for the long form, right?
Yep.
And especially too, if we can go, hey, we hit these 5 bullet points, but I have this like 6 bullet point that isn't there isn't enough here to like make a whole video on, but like maybe we just make it a short, like, maybe there's one ChatGPT prompt that you think is like, super obscure and like doesn't fit in this conversation, but it would be a really cool, like quick tip that you could share as just a short and record it just that way, right? Where it's like, okay, here's the tip. Go on my computer, do it. Short. Go watch the full video over here. So that way you're not cannibalizing your own content, right? When you're just taking the same content and cutting it up. And it's like, well, I could just keep watching shorts and then never go and watch your full channel because I got all the information,
right.
Well,
that's the big thing with shorts is it can actually feed into the YouTube ecosystem.
I am all for shorts.
Yeah.
Like I like as a play for sure, right? But just the way I'm thinking, like when you look at Marquez, you watch any MK Marquez?
Is that right?
MB. Wait, hold on.
What is it? Yeah.
MKBHD. I always have to think of his entire name.
Yeah.
And so MKBHD, like he does shorts content. Like it's like he's like, oh, I have an idea for a video. This actually isn't enough for a full video. Maybe it would do well as a short. It's like one thing he learned about, a piece of tech, or like one tip he has about like, it's like, can you do a whole video on turning your phone black and white? No, but you could do a short on that, right? So.
Right. I like it. Yeah, I'm playing around with it a little bit too, and just trying to take like an answer. Like, I'll probably get a bunch from this specific live stream.
Yeah,
and we'll see, how it goes, and we'll just have a VA that can help out.
Yeah,
and we just like cut it. Like just, we'll sound brilliant in 1 minute segments.
Right. Exactly. You think.
Yeah. But that's perfect the way you're describing it, where you like take the whole and then you like whittle it down, and
because you just said it, so now you're better at saying it.
Yeah.
Right. Because you've already like figured out how to eloquently, hopefully, present an idea, and then maybe the next time you do it, you improve upon it, and then the short you improve upon it even more, and you do it even faster, and it's just like it. Kind of feel like it. I feel like that would work. We're trying it. So like on last Friday, I think we shot a long form video about about my SEO tech stack of 2023. So we did like I think it ended up being like 40 minutes was the podcast version. And then we hit record again, and now it's like I've said everything I wanted to say, and my brother took notes during the podcast and was like, do this. Remember that this part was really good. So during lunch, he like said all the things to me, and I'm like, okay, got it. And then we went downstairs, and it was just like, here are my 6 tips. It's like, so we just kept like trying different hooks too.
Yeah.
And then whatever the last one was, I'm like, all right, that's it. So then when he goes to edit it, it's like he just knows to pull the last thing.
Perfect.
So it's like the editing should be much faster.
Yeah. Editing is a bitch.
I know. I love it, but yeah, I love it when I have a script done, like especially for Brew Cabin. Like
I was gonna say those are the ones I'm thinking of.
Yeah, they're highly scripted, and I get what I have to get, and I don't do a million takes. So it's, so the editing happens to be a little bit easier.
We have WP Eagle Alex Cooper
Nice.
in the house. So he stopped by, and someone said that he's streaming on his live stream right now. Or WP Eagle
Looks
is
like we're all
streaming your
streaming on
feed.
each other. Huh?
Yeah. Ugh, yeah. Just wear our gloves or something. Okay.
Yeah.
So we have a few questions here. So this is from Svarin Web Studio. If you were to start today, would you even start a blog, or would you go all in on YouTube with a good funnel back end? What do you think, Matt?
Jeremiah, I would, and I think I've said this on other things, I would start a YouTube channel first. But that's because my strength is in YouTube, not writing. That said, I have plans to do like 2 different like niche site building from scratch, and that will be not YouTube, like purposefully not YouTube. So I think there's still, I think it's whatever your strength is. If your strength is like, I don't want to be on camera, like, you're just like, a lot of people just don't want to be on camera, and I understand that. But maybe you can talk. Maybe you're good at talking, so maybe you just start an audio podcast. Hard to grow, but it people have made livings off of doing just that, right? Or just write. If you're a good writer, write. I still think even over time, like our BS meters are going to get more finely tuned, as they always do, and it's like, well, again, the cream will rise to the top. The EEAT thing is still going to be relevant. I just think it's like, and I've said this, and I keep saying this, and I know I get pushback on it as well, but it's like, fuck stock photos. Take your own goddamn photos. Everyone has a camera in their pocket, And it's not that hard to do. But then people are like, well, what if my niche is I'm a marine biologist. Am I supposed to dive in the ocean and take pictures of whales? I'm like, well, one, if you're arguing me on Twitter about niche sites, you're definitely not a marine biologist. And 2, I'm clearly pulling a real thing that happened to me. And I'm like, I'm not one. It's just like, yeah, if you're a marine biologist, don't you have access to like killer photos and not the same ones we all do? Yeah, it's like, then no, your argument is flawed. So, yeah, I think it's just about. Anyway, I would start a YouTube channel because that's my strength. But I would say play to your strength and then expand from there.
Perfect.
That would be my YouTube take.
Love it.
You know what I mean? I ramble and then go, all right, what am I really trying to say?
So I would do a similar thing, right? So I was not good at video in the beginning.
Yeah.
No one is, by the way.
Right.
Like whenever they
take time.
try, it's tough. But now I have like the studio. It's easy to set up.
Yep.
I've found a way that doesn't burn me out. And I would also do YouTube, but I would do them in parallel, right? So I would do a blog in YouTube in parallel.
Oh, yes. I would have a home base.
Yeah.
If I had a YouTube channel, I would definitely have a home base.
Because the goal would be email list, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So same strategy here. Like we do videos. That's the top end of the funnel. Hey, get our lead magnet, go to the website, and then, you get a smaller fraction that come through the funnel.
Yeah, I want to own my audience as much as possible.
And then just like today, like we both emailed our lists and we had a shitload more people here than like when we don't, right?
Yeah, right.
It works, and it's a solid way to do it. You get people off of the platform, which you're kind of borrowing. I think YouTube is it's superior over some of the others because you can actually get people off the platform.
Yes.
It's part of the ecosystem. Like YouTube probably doesn't love it, but it happens.
You make money. Like you make good money on it. You know what I mean? So
yeah, so I would do that.
Meaning just like AdSense,
Yeah.
Like it's crazy.
My channel is much smaller because you're talking Swim U, right?
Yeah, that or just, I've seen YouTubers that have like, if you have 1 million subscribers, like you're making fucking good money.
Yeah, but dude, that's really hard to hit 1 million subscribers.
Really yeah, I'm definitely not going to do it with pools. But we're at 170,000, I think.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's great. And it's like, it's a living if that's all we did, but for one person.
Right.
A decent living for one person.
And I'll counter, we don't agree on everything. So I saw someone recently in some community, not yours, somewhere saying, oh yeah, some YouTubers make really great money from ads. And you just said it. And I'm like, yeah, with 1 million fucking subscribers. That's a really hard thing to do.
It's a really hard thing to do, yes.
I don't run, run very few ads on my channel because it is a super shitty way to monetize. And if I have my own products,
you want that.
I don't want to advertise other people's stuff on my channel. So it depends on what you're trying to do.
True.
You can earn some money from AdSense, but it is a very
the real money is
amount.
Yeah, the real money is selling your own product, for sure.
And I'm not the kind of YouTuber that's going to get a whole lot of views where I'll actually earn some money. So yeah,
true.
My courses are much better to monetize, or just having people on the email list where you could market other products. That's what you could do.
Yep.
Cool.
Agreed.
So let's see if we have. Okay. Susan says, "Will AI ever affect YouTube, or are creators safe for ranking there?" What do you think?
I mean, yes, it's coming, right? Like deepfakes are already a thing. I just, again, I think it's one of those things about our bullshit meters. It's like, have you ever watched a video on YouTube where you can tell it's a robot voice and this is the best products of 2023? It's like, I don't know about you. I immediately go, stop. Because it's like, I don't trust this. Like anybody, again, any asshole can make this. So it's clearly not hard to do. And therefore it's probably not worth trusting. So I think, I mean, if you've seen any sort of AI generated like video content, it's, I don't know, to me, it's incredibly noticeable.
It looks weird.
Yeah. And everybody, a lot of people get, and this is so kind of a random tangent, but like, have you ever heard people complain about the volume in movies?
Yeah.
Like, oh, they overuse the volume so much. I'm like, I'm surprised people even know what the fuck that is, right? But I'm like, oh, it doesn't bother me. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't even, sometimes I've watched shows where I'm like, oh, I didn't even realize that was on a volume. That's pretty awesome.
Oh, I don't know. Are you talking like the actual like audible level of noise?
No, I'm talking about,
I don't know what that is.
Oh, so yeah, it's like hold on. So instead of shooting on a green screen, they shoot on an LED screen where like the background is projected, so it looks. Oh. It's not a green screen, but it looks incredibly real. And as they move the camera around, the background shifts, so you get that effect, right? Okay. So it looks like you're in a real place, and it doesn't look like you're on a green screen stage. But people notice it, and I've heard people complain like, "Oh, they overuse the volume too much in Thor, God of Thunder, or whatever the fuck that movie was called." And I was like, I don't even know, like this movie is already so computer generated that I just consider it a cartoon at this point.
Yeah,
but yeah, I just think if we can detect that, it's like, then I just think it'll be a long time before we're truly fooled by a non-human video that looks like a real human and acts like a real human. It's like we're still, I mean, it's coming, but we're still not there yet. And I think we have a couple more years.
Yeah, I think a lot more years.
Yeah, probably like 5 to 10.
It depends on the industry, but like for the videos that we're talking about, maybe Swim University is maybe a little more susceptible.
Yeah, well, that one's,
But like the stuff that we're doing,
yes.
I mean, it's people that want to be here. So it's a different type of audience. So I'm not worried. Like
no, I'm not.
No, AI wouldn't recreate me. People wouldn't go to AI because they can get better information. They're coming here for the personality.
Yeah, and they could, like I do think about that with Swim University. We're like now entirely animated, so it could, that's where it could take over.
Now, here's another idea. You mentioned earlier some people maybe don't want to be on camera, but there are some great channels that I watch. They're video essays.
True. Yep.
And it's just B-roll. Yeah. It's a great essay.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting because now you could write an essay with ChatGPT. Yeah. And then, I mean, it's good B-roll, but it's commodity, right? You could do it on whatever, Canva, Descript, whatever, like super easy to create a video essay like that.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's a route. And you could actually like I haven't done this, but you could use Descript. You use Descript?
I've used it, yes.
You could train it on your voice.
Yeah, oh yeah, I've done that. Yeah. Because
And
I've made
then-
mistakes and I said the F word and I like needed to rewrite. I rewrote the sentence and it did it in my voice.
It's cool. I haven't tested it yet.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure if they could do like long form. If
Yeah,
I'm
it's
like,
still pretty.
here's the whole thing. I did give it like 90 minutes of audio. So,
Yeah,
'cause
I did too.
have some, okay.
They had a character. So at Christmas, I did a podcast where I had Santa introduce did the intro for the
Yeah.
podcast, and all I did was write an intro and then gave it to the script. They had a character called Nick, which was Santa Claus, but it sounded fake. You know, it sounded kind of like it was like I did it as a joke, but it was just like, all right, it's like, hi, this is Santa Claus.
Yeah.
Welcome to the. It's like it was just so robotic.
It's a little dumb.
You know, yeah.
So yeah, I think AI could impact YouTube a little bit, but I think like for real creators with like real brands and real personality,
Yeah.
which is what we're doing. I mean, I'm not
And it's
aiming
gonna
for
keep.
anything
That's
else.
the other thing too. Like, it'll. Oh, who was saying this to me the other day? It might have been Steph, which is like, there's gonna be a sales pitch soon where it's like, this is human powered. You know?
Oh,
It was,
yeah. I've
I
heard
was
that
talking to
too.
a guy yesterday. Yeah, this guy Mark yesterday. He was talking about like, that's gonna be a sales pitch now. You know,
Yeah.
like the same way like. You know, if you're in America, it's like this product was made in the USA, Ford trucks, like that kind of deal. Where it's like now it's gonna be like this was powered by humans.
Yeah.
Fuck the robots.
Yeah.
You know, so I think it will be a good sales pitch, and I think, that could be the way of it all, right? Where it's like, wow, we're just so tired of this AI thing that it's just not selling
Yeah.
like it is right now.
All right. Someone had a great idea to ask ChatGPT to ask us questions. So we'll hit a couple more, and then we're probably getting hungry. So, all right. This one is from Build a Niche Site via ChatGPT. Can you share any tips for monetizing a niche authority website beyond display advertising and affiliate marketing? I'll just let you cover that, Matt, real quick.
Yeah, make your own digital products and physical products. What's the yeah. I don't know what else do you want to.
Yeah, maybe
You've bought things in this world that weren't display ads and affiliate links.
You could build an email list and then do other marketing.
Sponsorships.
So sponsorships.
Paid newsletter.
Affiliate marketing in your email list. Okay.
Yeah.
Next one is, what are some common misconceptions about SEO with AI, and how can businesses avoid falling into these traps? Are there any ethical concerns that arise when using AI for SEO? So we'll just tackle the first part, which I'll restate. Common misconceptions about SEO with AI. What do you?
Common misconceptions? I don't know.
So I think, it's kind of the underpinning of what we were talking about for the content area. So I think one of my early misconceptions was you could just like get AI content and
Publish it.
publish it. And I think, from a publishing standpoint, people tried it. At the time, the output was kind of shitty.
Yeah.
And you really couldn't roll with it. Now it's much, much better. But I think the trap that you may fall into is like, you'll publish a huge amount of content, and then you have you have no moat. You have no defense. Anyone can do it. So if it works, you're going to have a million competitors. Worst case scenario, this is the worst thing, is like if you actually ranked, you made some money, and then Google's like, no, that's bad content.
Yeah, it's all taken away from you.
That's worse than not getting it.
That's the thing I've been screaming about since almost like ever since I got hit in 2008 from like doing all of the article spinning that I used to do. It's like, oh, if you just write for human beings and Google second, and just be yourself, and it's just like you're kind of, you build the moat, you build that brand moat around you where it's like, oh, well, this is Swim University actually has a voice, and it's not a pool content site. It's not a, you could tell there's a guy writing behind there, or a gal, or whoever,
And Venture Quest says, in the near future, I think it'll be possible to be your own one-person production team with a tech stack of AI writers, deepfake AI music production.
You can do that
and
already. You've been able to do
voice
that for a while.
manipulation.
Yeah.
Yeah. 100%. Okay.
Oh, there's a ton of like. Have you played with any of the music stuff?
Nah,
No, I haven't either. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've heard it's like I've watched YouTube videos where other people have played with it, and it's just they're all kind of like,
yeah,
kind of sucks.
Yeah, no, they were like, listen to this guitar solo, and I was
like,
like, it kind of sounds like a guitar solo, but that's our other interest, like expensive guitars.
Yeah.
And it's like we want to play the fucking guitar.
Yeah,
like we're spending money on like these nice instruments. Like we don't want to do it on a.
You know what I think though?
Stupid.
AI could definitely generate lo-fi hip hop because I
sure.
think that's fucking not music. Personally,
Yeah.
I know people love listening to it when they work. And I'm like, it's nothing. It's just you might as well put on a mobile in a crib. It's just what is this?
Did you ever listen to the 40 hertz binaural beats?
No.
It's supposed to be good for working.
Okay.
Something like that. But it is exactly. It's like,
just
whatever. That does have a beat, I guess. Okay.
Yeah, but it's just a loop. It's just two loops.
And let's see here. Okay, so that wraps up the questions. I think we're gonna call it a day. Thanks everyone for hopping on. We had a wonderful audience. Leave a comment if you're able to later. And Matt, it's been awesome. Where should people find you?
Moneylab.co. And if you want to follow me on Twitter, it's at Matt Giovanisi. Figure out how to spell it.
Yeah, it's in the description.
Yeah.
Check out Money Lab Pro. There's a link in the description. I'm an affiliate. I'm a member there. There's some fine people in the audience. Some of the greatest questions and comments came from those folks. Thanks everyone for hopping on. And I do this every week if you want to check it out more. And Matt and I think we're going to collaborate more. This was fun.
Yeah, absolutely.